Welcome to DCL TalkShow on DCL Radio. This is exactly what I felt after watching all the scorecards. Most of the games, I felt like they're all one-sided games, except for one or two games. So, with that opinion in my mind, I'll go to my best in the business, three gentlemen here, analysts, to know whether my opinion is right or wrong. Okay, so let me introduce them first, and then I'll start with that question. Welcome to the show, Imti.
Thanks again, and I welcome all our listeners to yet another episode of DCL Talk Show. And we had a good weekend, multiple games, rescheduled games also happened this week, so there are a lot of games to discuss, and we'll come back to your question. Yep.
Okay, welcome to the show, Abhi.
Hello, Jagan. Thank you. Hello, MT and KK. Welcome to the show. And to all the listeners, welcome all. Another week we had more games played than the regular number. Again, few teams playing 2 games in a weekend, and lots to discuss about these games in short time. So let's get going.
Welcome to the show, KK.
Thanks, Jagan. And it's good to be back on the show. I missed out last week. And welcome, Abhi and Imti. As Abhi mentioned, we had a lot of games this weekend, and let's just dive into the show.
Okay, so let me start with the question, and then after that we'll quickly get into the games. My question is, in my opinion, most of the games are one-sided, except there are 2 games. Apart from those 2, remaining all went in one side. So I'll start with Imti.
Yes, Jagan, like on the face of the scorecards, it definitely looks more one-sided games this week. But again, like in the middle, it might have been totally different. Like live experience could be different. But again, like in the end, we only have the luxury to give the analysis based on the scorecards. So, like again, just looking at the scorecards, it definitely looks like a one-sided week, to be honest.
Okay, Abhi.
I might not agree with that because many of the games actually, though they look one-sided, it's just the collapse at the end which turned the game around. But until then, like let's say if the game was there till 20th over, then I wouldn't say it's one-sided because the team would have been winning, could have lost the game. But again, having said that, most of the teams who were in a good position have ended up winning the game. So yeah, but one-sided, I'd still say it's still the scorecard analysis that we're doing. So not a complete picture from the ground.
Okay, KK always goes against me. So KK, your thoughts?
It's not against you, Jagan. There is a lot of gap in the generation-wise, right? So it's always.
Okay, that came out of the blue. Okay.
Yeah, indirectly he's calling me old.
No, I'm calling experience. There's a difference.
Okay. Yeah.
My brother calls me old, so I live with that. So again, to your point, right? If you just look at a few games, right? FCC Agni scored 119 against Detroit Bulls. At the end of the first innings, no one thinks it's a one-sided game because 120 on the board is always good. But Bulls chased it down. Similarly, you have a game which Hitman got bowled out for 78, and with the Brownstone lineup, no one thinks that Brownstone is going to lose. It's not a one-sided game when you look at the halfway mark. We always think the other team is the favorite, but the way the tables turned in the second innings, that is what is more, I would say, the emotion. That's where the emotion comes into the game, right? Because a lot of fans, who follow cricket, who follow DCL, they watch these scores online and they'll think, okay, Brownstone is winning this game again with 5 points, but the reverse happens, right? Similarly, you have another game. MCC Miles scored 92. Canton 11, the last week, they were able to chase 120, 125 against Sterling Strikers, and this game they were not able to get those 92 runs. So it's always the game, the emotions that the players go through, the team followers go through, the cricket lovers go through. I think we cannot call these games one-sided, at least until the halfway mark.
Okay, with that, I'll straight away go to our games, last week games. The first game of the night is AR Phantoms versus Rising Stars, and probably first win for Rising Stars. So welcome to the winning column, and with that, I'll go to Imti.
Just a correction. I think this is the second win for Rising Stars, if I'm not wrong, because I thought they won against Micah.
Oh, If that is the case, I'm very sorry. Okay.
Yes, so this is their second win. Yeah, so again, I think this game was kind of a straightforward pick even last week when we were doing the predictions, because Rising Stars obviously have some experience with the league, and AR Phantoms their first season, so they're still on the learning curve, I would believe. With that being said, I think AR Phantoms had a good chance in this game to prove all the analysts or the critics wrong, but couldn't really get going. AR Phantoms, like any DCL team, they won the toss, selected to bat, but really couldn't put up a show with the batting. They just scored a paltry 47, I would say. Not much support in the batting, except Sandeep and Sushil, who got into double digits. Also, their opener, who scored 11 runs. But again, like it's the constant fall of wickets. I think that never really got going in the batting, and they just folded out within 18 overs for 47. Again, I think it was a good bowling effort from Rising Stars. Like all the bowlers chipping in with the wickets. Pick up the bowlers: Prasanna, 3 wickets, 5 runs in his 4.1 overs, and then Brijesh also picking up 3 wickets to support that effort. So 47 at the halfway mark, definitely Rising Stars would be the favorites to win this game. But again, they did lose some quick wickets in the chase. Like they were going at a very slow rate also. But then I think there was not much firepower in the bowling for AR Phantoms that could really push this game further. Just one partnership in the middle, and then the score was just chased down. I think they didn't have the scoreboard just to put enough pressure on the Rising Stars. So they chased down 48 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 14 overs, and it was a comfortable win for Rising Stars in the end. So congratulations.
Okay. The next game of the night is FCC Agni versus Detroit Bulls. Abhi, your thoughts?
Thanks. Thank you, Jagan. Yeah, FCC Agni here losing the toss. They were put to bat in in the NPP grounds. The game played there, and this was one of the closest games played here again with regard to the score. The game going down to the wire, I guess. FCC Agni, started off steady for their first 12 overs. Small partnerships with this certainly did help the team's score to keep moving. 41 for 2 is a good space to be in when going back to the break. And their top order doing the most of the work. Mano Reddy scoring 17 of 25, Abhinay scoring 27, and another 29 from Arjun. What worked well for FCC Agni is these 3 batsmen didn't depart immediately, and most of the new batsmen played around these 3 batsmen until the 20th over, and then the team score reaching 90 runs. The story took a quick turnaround here from the 21st over. Bulls pulling back the game very well. 5 wickets picked up in the end, and Agni managing to score just 20 or 23 runs in their last 5 overs after an excellent start. Bulls in their bowling started off well with their initial 2 wickets, but they've been dry without much wickets, and between the 12th and 20th, and probably a bit more runs conceded too. I feel they pulled back the game very well in the end, not conceding runs, keeping the target lower. Total for the start of Agni, for the way Agni started their innings, maybe 15-20 runs short for Agni. Mahesh Babu being pick of the bowlers with 4 wickets and a good economy rate. 2 for Jagdishwara, and also good economical spell from him. Tanuj and Nikhil going for runs, more than 50 runs scored in their 9-over spell between them. A bit too much there. Bulls, again when they came to bat, they had a good total to chase down, but I feel they would have been confident of approaching this by the way they wrapped up the Agni in the end in their bowling. They somehow they had a somewhat decent start with the score constantly moving, but giving away a bit too many wickets. Deepak from Agni bowling a crucial over to pull the game back with a 2-wicket over again. Gaurav has given this start Bulls wanted with a quick 22 or 15 runs, 3 boundaries in it. I have a privilege of playing alongside him in Mishka T20 League. Technically, a very sound batsman. With Gaurav going back early, Gino had some work to do. And to the quality of player he responded very strong with the bat, scoring 42 runs of 55 with 6 and 2 fours, and while chasing a 120 target. It's an amazing innings played by Gino. An excellent all-rounder that I keep mentioning about him every weekend. He remained not out till the end. He's been the architect of Bulls chase, a fighter who never gives up. Banu Prakash supported Gino well. Their partnership was the key for this win. Around 45 odd runs between them, 8 to 19th over. A wicket here, I feel Agni was still in the game when probably I think Banu Prakash was departed in 19th over. They were in a similar spot, but Gino taking the team through was the difference between the two teams. Agni's bowling, Deepak got the initial 2 wickets, but nothing after that. Hitman picking another 2. But most of the bowlers have gone for runs here in Agni, and Bulls hang on to their with the Bulls with this win, hang on to their spot in the middle with the second win, while Agni is pushed down the table with the loss. So an important phase for both the teams. So good luck to them.
Okay, the next game of the night is Troy Hawks versus Patriots. Patriots, after initial lows, I think they are back into groove, and beating Troy Hawks in a convincing way is not an easy task. The way Troy Hawks are playing. With that, I'll go to KK.
I think, Jagan, in my opinion, this is a good game for Troy Hawks to lose. The reason being, they bet FCC and then they beat Indus Thunders, and I spoke to a couple of players. I felt the confidence was a bit over the roof. But however, with this loss, what happens is Troy Hawks now have 4 games, and I believe the seeding of those other games, the oppositions are a bit lower than Troy Hawks. So this is a reality check. They'll go back to the drawing board, and the upcoming 4 games, right, that they have is against Thunderbolts, Dynamites, UCA, and SSK. So they have a good chance to actually make it to the playoffs again with a good seeding. That's why I said it's a good game to lose for Troy Hawks. But having said that, Patriots initially had those lows in the tournament, but boy, oh boy, last week they beat the defending champions in the Thunders, and now they beat Troy Hawks, who are on a roll. And I believe this is most clinical performance that we can see, against a quality team. Troy Hawks bundled for 35, and no batsman got into the double digits. And look at those extras, just 4 extras by the Patriots bowling. Mahinder Buredi was the pick of the bowlers. He started well with 3 wickets, but the pick of the bowlers was Santosh. He picked up 5 wickets for 6 runs, phenomenal, and is rightly named the man of the match. And when it comes to Patriots batting, Tejasvi did not open this game, but however, he and Naresh made sure that there are not many hiccups after the loss of those initial wickets. It's a convincing win, 5 points. Their run rate improved drastically for Patriots. Good for Troy Hawks is that their run rate not dead. They are still having a plus 0.8, a very healthy run rate. So yeah, congrats to both the teams. Both these teams have very good chances to go into the playoffs, especially that some of the heavy teams in their pool did not perform up to the expectations.
Okay, the next game of the night is Gladiators versus GLCC. Okay, I'll go to Imti, and once he finishes, I'll give a couple of lines on this one. My analysis. Okay, Imti, your thoughts.
Well, I think this was Clash of the Titans, if I can call it, because 2 heavyweight teams of the league coming up against each other. I think GLCC was playing back-to-back games this weekend, both against good teams. The Saturday game against Pokeries, which they won, but again they came across Gladiators on the Sunday game, and they kind of came across a red-hot team that was in form. So if you look at the details of the game, Gladiators batting first put up a huge mammoth score of 178, playing out all the 25 overs for just a loss of 4 wickets. The batting star for them, Arjun Ajbani, carrying his bat through the innings, staying not out with a 66, with 7 maximum hits in that score of 66. And he was well supported by Hardeep Singh, scoring a 45 of 24 quick fire, almost 2 runs a ball. Hardeep, I think, is in form, in a great form this season, and he's been scoring consistently, and that you can see how confidently he played in this game, just coming and blasting the bowlers away. A good opening partnership also. Kayapur putting up a brave show, 38 runs, and I think that was the foundation that Gladiators needed in this game to just post that big score. Eventually they scored 178, I think, which is a very, very good score considering the GLCC lineup. Again, GLCC has been scoring in excess of 100 runs in every game that they have played so far. So 178 even though it is a huge score, I think if any team could chase it down, it was GLCC, I believe, at the halftime mark. Look at the bowling details for GLCC. I think almost everybody going for runs here, but Samish surprisingly going for a lot, like 44 out of his 4 overs. I think I doubt if I've seen that kind of performance from Samish in the past. So just not working for them in the bowling department. They couldn't get the wickets, I think, and that the Gladiators just ran away with the batting here, I would say. Going into the second innings, GLCC, they needed a solid start, which did not happen. They had some good middle over partnerships. Hemant chipping in at 29, Vaibhav scoring 14, Samish also chipping in at 14 runs, and then down the order, Sandeep scoring 35 runs, quick 35 runs off 20 balls. But again, I think it was a constant fall of wickets that the chase never really got going. And an interesting fact in this game is like the Gladiators hit 13 sixers and 3 fours, whereas GLCC hit 9 sixers and 3 fours. So it was that difference of that 4 or 5 6 sixers that actually is the difference, the eventual difference in the scorecard. And also, I was looking at the over by over score, and if you really look at the game, Gladiators were like at 87 for 3 in 19 overs, and I think the last 6 overs they were able to score 91 runs, which is almost double the score what they were at 19. So giving away 91 runs in the last 6 overs is really just the motivation or the momentum is just lost by GLCC, and Gladiators got that momentum going into the second half. And GLCC, they kept losing wickets in their chase. Score-wise, at the end of 18 overs, they were at 95, but the difference was they lost 8 wickets already. Even though they got a big over in the 19th of 26 run over in the 19th over, but they really did not have wickets left to keep that momentum going in the next over. So if you see the comparison up till 18th over, I think it was almost evens to even, except for the fact that Glads had wickets in hand and GLCC did not have. And obviously it is because of the scoreboard pressure, and then that is what a big score will do to a team. Even though they were at red hot form until this game, I think this game would kind of put a dent into GLCC, I would say. Again, not to panic, but I think it was against a good team, so they can just get the learnings for the deep end of the bowling lineup, how to not concede runs, I would say. So.
Yeah, very well summarized. See, the key to this victory for Gladiators is Hardeep. Hardeep is the man who started, actually the scoring at a brisk pace. Okay, and Arjun Ajbani always plays well against GLCC. I don't know why. Historically, he plays well against GLCC. And when I see the difference between these two bowling attacks, Gladiators bowled only 3 bad overs, and GLCC bowled 7 bad overs comparatively. That is the difference between win and lose. Okay, with that, I'll go to the next game, Strikers versus Blasters. Okay, Abhi.
Yeah, seriously, what a game in between GLCC and Glads. 91 runs in 6 overs. That's crazy. Yeah, coming to this game, Strikers Blasters. I didn't get many of my predictions right last week, but this was one of the games where I got it right. Blasters winning it. Strikers winning the toss, selecting to bat. Did not have a great job in their batting. They were put to pressure straight away by the Blasters' top bowlers. Deepak, Anvesh, Naresh, all striking at the top with a wicket each. Within no time, they were 4 down, and now from here, I feel Strikers have done well to pick up a good partnership and also score at a good rate to recover their early blow. 40-odd runs between Rahul, Shauji and Parthiv, their captain. Rahul scoring 31 of 46 and playing a steady innings, and well supported by Parthiv, who I felt played a very responsible innings, scoring 19 of 25. Now, assuming Imti captained this game, because I didn't see Hari Parankusham in the 11, he threw the ball to Ravi Teja, and when they didn't get any wickets, Ravi hasn't bowled. I believe Ravi hasn't bowled until then, and in between. And guess what? He strikes with a 2-wicket over. Just talks about the experience of Imti and the class of Ravi Teja, sending back both their settled batsmen back and packing them for the 20 runs from there on. Strikers were 60 for 4, and then they were 72 all out. Blasters had a lot of discipline in their bowling. Naresh Harkat, another excellent day with the ball. An exceptional spell from him. 4-2-3-3, 4 overs, 2 maidens, three runs, 3 wickets. Amazing figures. Imtiaz just bowling 3, not getting any wickets. Ravi Teja coming in deep, bowling 3, picking a wicket every over. It just talks about the class that the Blasters bowling has. Now, Blasters had a tricky total to chase. We know these low score totals can play a tricky mind play in the chasing teams. Mahesh back to his opening spot again, did fairly well, 9 of 7. Felt was sent back early after the 6 he scored of Zahid, who again picked up 2 wickets in his over. 3 down, Blasters needed a partnership to build from here. Ravi, who's been pretty busy with the bat this season, stands up tall and plays a crucial knock of 40 of 38 balls, scoring at 100 strike rate. Deepak on the other end just stood and blocked from one end, scoring 8 of 24. But that 45-run partnership summed up the game for Blasters. With just 18-20 more needed, Blasters were in a comfortable spot. Binod Singh bowls an amazing 2 wicket, 2-run over in the end, but it was a bit too late for strikers by then. Strikers again, I felt they were at least 20-30 runs short. Started well with their bowling, picking up 3 quick initial wickets. Had they picked Ravi or Deepak in between the game, could have been a lot more interesting. Binod Singh, another player who's never aging with tons of T-balls experience, had a good day with the ball. Excellent figures for him, 4093. Zahid picking 2 early wickets, giving chance to strikers. A good and a crucial win for Blasters to be in a good spot of the table. Strikers with just 1 win dropped down the table, but they just played surprisingly they just played 3 games so far, and for the experience they have, I think they can still make a good comeback from this point on. So a good game between 2 teams.
Okay, the next game of the night is FCC Agni versus Legends. Okay, there's a reason I assigned this game to KK, because KK plays for Legends, and Legends is one of the teams that is unbeaten as of now. And actually, I have a favorite player in this one. I'll tell his name after KK's analysis. KK, your thoughts?
So this game, Jagan, I want to talk about 2 different things. One is the game and one is non-game related. The non-game related is players not wearing jerseys from the FCC Agni unit. And when this was brought up, their skipper not being able to take it in a positive way, because jerseys are mandatory from the last week, and it's something, an action has to be taken. It's on video, and there were some derogatory comments from the FCC Agni captain when we asked him to wear the jersey. So that's something which is uncalled for. This is the non-game related, right? When we get into the game, I think Agni opener, he played really well for those 49 runs. He deserved a half century. He played beautifully. He's been dropped once, but he played beautifully. He controlled the innings, and the way the rest of the players played around him. And when Jashwant was batting on the other end, I thought probably 120 was in the cards. But however, they lost those quick wickets and they ended up at 100. One thing I want to mention is about Pradeep Gurjavalu, because he has not bowled earlier this season until the Friday game and on the Saturday game. And his health was not good last year. And when he was practicing, there were about 5 to 6 wides in every single over. But the way he bowled in this game, I would really have to give that credit to him. He bowled all 5 overs, picked up 3 wickets for 20 runs. And, well supported by Praveen, he picked up 3 wickets. So that's actually those wickets between Praveen and Pradeep pulled down the Agni total in the end. If not, they would have probably scored 15 to 20 runs more. And when it came to the batting, Legends had a good start. I mean, Praveen was batting alongside me, and when we both bat, we don't talk much. We just go with the flow. And if there is a ball to hit, we'll hit it. And the plan was probably to hit as many runs in the first 3 overs. And if we both are there, then we wanted to take the power play there on. But we did not take the power play. It was not necessary. But yeah, I got out in the 3rd over, and then Praveen got out in the 5th over. But we had almost scored half the runs by then. And then Gautam, the most dependable batsman in the Legends unit, I would say, along with Murali, they both played really well. They did not let that one more wicket fall, and very convincingly they finished the game in 18 overs.
Okay, the next game of the night is Detroit Bulls versus Kings 11. And before I go to this game, and I don't see Harish Elementally playing against FCC Agni. I love
Yeah, I want to mention something here. We had a game on Friday night, Jagan. It was between 7 to 11, and the next day's game was at 9, and Harish was also playing the minor league. And, there are other leagues as well folks play, right? So with the kind of players and the unit legends have, I think this game, Harish could give it a pass.
Okay. He's my favorite player in your team. Okay. And he and Edwin Chedway, I like to watch these two guys when they are bowling and when they are batting.
I'll
And-
pass him the message.
Who did you say? The bowling?
When they are bowling and batting, both.
Harish.
Yeah, Harish Elementally and Hemant Chelwaya. These two are.
Hemant. Okay.
I feel like these two are very underrated in DCL, but they are very, very, they belong to that superstar category. Okay. And
I would like to know who underrates Harish Elementary in DCL. I would want to meet that person.
yeah,
That's a good point.
see, we don't talk much about these players. That's what I meant actually. Okay.
Yeah, I want to mention something about it, Jagan. You call them into the superstar category, right? But the reason why people like them is because the way they stay humble off the field and on the field. That's very important. The way you play with integrity, right?
True.
The way the rest of the players look up to them. If the player is too good, but his behavior is not good, he doesn't really form a role model. But players like Harish and Hemant, yes, in the game they bring up that type of attitude, and the rest of the team also, want to up their game.
Yeah, I agree. The next game of the night is Detroit Bulls versus Kings 11. Imti, your thoughts?
Yes, Jagan. I think this was a closely fought game. Maybe the scorecard might not suggest it, but I was in the ground next to this game, and I was kind of following this game on a regular basis. And I think this game kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, but eventually Kings 11 coming out victorious in this game, chasing a good score of 95. So if you go into the details, I think Detroit Bulls batting first, they won the toss, selected to bat, and wanted to put a big score. I think they got off to a bad start, very first wicket falling, and third over with not much on the score. But then I think it was Sandeep, Gino, and Naveen, their following batsmen, the 2, 3, and 4. I think they made the bulk of the scoring. And one point to note here is Sandeep, who scored 35 runs. I think he was retired hurt and he came back into the game at a later stage. Maybe that kind of caused a momentum shift or a break in their partnership, I would say. But then again, he came back, he batted, and then they only could reach to 95 at the end of 25 overs. Although they played all the 25 overs, they had a decent foundation, top of the order, but I think they couldn't really accelerate to take that score beyond the 100. Again, credit to the bowling, I would say. Maybe Kings 11, who has been confident throughout the games, initial games, they won some good games, so their confidence obviously high. But in this game, I think even though they could not pick wickets, I think they really bowled economically, and I see that they used almost 8 bowlers in the process. Not sure the exact reason, but again, it worked for them. They could restrict Detroit Bulls for 95 runs. So 95 halfway mark, Kings 11 definitely fancied their chances because I think they beat teams like Strikers and got close in another game when they were chasing similar kind of scores in the previous week. So Kings 11, we have played against them, and I know that they have a good batting unit and definitely were capable of chasing this down. They got off to a very good start. Again, even in the chase, I think there was an instance where Sunil, who got retired hurt in the between, and then he came back again later in the innings. So not sure what was it, the ball, was it some kind of freak injury? I'm not sure, but yeah. But again, Sunil Adanda stayed there, carried his bat throughout the innings, and made sure that they chased this down with the help of Purna, Abhilash, and then Sai Gautam also chipping in with the runs. I think even though Jagdish, their star bowler for Detroit Bulls, he picked some quick wickets in the middle, but then they really did not have much score to kind of put more pressure. So I think it was eventually a comfortable win for Kings 11. They chased down the total for with loss of 7 wickets in the 24th over. And I think this will give a huge boost to their confidence after their loss to Blasters. And I think Kings 11 is definitely in the run for the playoffs. So congratulations.
The next game of the night is Hitman versus Brownstone. Okay. So Hitman, can we consider, short the door to Brownstone for the playoffs or for the season? Okay. With that, I'll go to Abhi.
I might agree with you on that, because this was the game Brownstone should have won this game had they wanted that playoff spot. A total shocker of a game. Hitman, a newly formed team, beating the runner-up of 2019 season. Hitman winning the toss, selecting to bat, where they put on pressure right away as they lost a wicket of the first ball, something that is happening more often this season now. And I think they lost a second wicket in the same over, and then a couple more by the end of second or third over. They're in a bad shape. Brownstone were on top of their game at this point, with Ophir and Mansab giving an excellent start. Hitman tried recovering well from this point on with a crucial 25-odd run partnership between Shashank and Srijat, but only to lose 3 more wickets just before the innings break. Now, with 6 wickets down by innings break, things were not looking great for Hitman. The lower order of Hitman did most of the work for the team from here on. Kaushik scoring 11, Aditya scoring another 11, Mohammad scoring 12. To put the team in somewhat decent position from what could have been a complete collapse. Another 13 runs from extras, from Brownstone bowling. That's kind of surprising. Took them to a total of 78. Now, BT bowling, Ophir and Mansab started strong for the team. Mansab very economical with his 2 wickets, and in his 5 over spell, Ophir picking up 3 and 2 more from Saad, bundling the Hitman team to 78. Now, 78, although a tricky score, like I did mention earlier against Blasters game, Brownstone should have reached this target a bit comfortably, because especially by the way they batted and played their previous games. Sadly, that wasn't the story here. Arun started the proceedings for Hitman, bowled a bit too many extras in his first long over, and Brownstone started very cautiously after the initial wickets, going 2 per over. But the key point here was Hitman kept hitting their bowling, probably their length, and they struck with wickets at regular intervals, sending Brownstone batsmen back. They were 5 down by the innings break with just 25 runs on board. Hitmen were in a great position to pull the game back in their favor, which is exactly what they did. The next 5 wickets were lost in a very short span, with 4 of them going within between 2 overs or 12 balls. Now, I don't know the story here. Maybe Brownstone must have tried to accelerate things from here on, which didn't work out. But this is a huge loss for Brownstone, considering the position they're in. Hitman bowlers were very disciplined with just 9 extras. Philip Thomas, another player who's been playing this league for quite some time now. Good to see him pick 4 wickets in just 2.2 overs. Another 3 wickets to Aditya in his 4-over spell, and 2 more to Chetan. Hitman has done an excellent job throughout their bowling department after bundling down to a low score. Brownstone, just making it very difficult for their playoff spot now. They have to beat the big 3 in their Pool B to compensate this loss. I think Blasters, KRCC, and Legends. Hitman on the other end, slowly climbing up the table, defying all the odds. An excellent win for them. I think they're just below Legends now, so hope they continue to do this and keep winning.
The next game of the night is GLCC versus Pokeries. KK.
Again, Jagan, I would say it's a completely dominated game by GLCC, because 124 for 9 in 25 overs, and Poker is just managing 56 on the board. So Poker is, for I think the second time this season, have not been able to stop a top tier team from actually scoring more runs. In the prior encounter with the Gladiators, GLCC Poker gave more than 160 runs, and then in this game they gave 124 runs. And although we thought probably 100 or 120 was the par score, but both Pokery's batting unit did not show up. It's the same Pokery's batting unit who has been making merry of the low-ranked teams and scoring runs at ease, but when it comes to a good bowling unit, we don't see those scores coming up. And coming to this game, I think GLCC openers gave them a solid start. Habib and Mirza, one of their, I would say, senior player, with the help of Akash Patel, put in that good opening partnership of 46 in 10 overs. And after that, the rest of the batsmen slowly tried to chip in those runs. Sudeep Patel coming one down, hit a six. Ajit did not have a great game, but then Hemant played well for his 15 runs, well supported by Roshan. And then at the end, Ankit Patel hitting that 1-6 and Sandeep Gopinath hitting that 1-6. They had a decent, finish to their innings. I need to talk about Sandeep Gopinath. He is the size of a firecracker, but the way he plays the game, I'm very impressed with the way he plays the game. I've watched him play live, and he's a good player. Coming to Poker's bowling unit, their skipper failed miserably, giving away 30 runs in 5 overs, 6 an over, no wickets taken, along with their other opening bowler. Even though he got a couple wickets, I think between Ravi and Sharon, they gave away 64 runs, which is more than half the score in 10 overs. Although their number 3, 4, and 5 bowlers, they considered only 60 runs in 15 overs and took 6 wickets. The opening 2 bowlers, I think, led the team down here. And when it comes to the batting, Poker did not have a great start. Their openers bundling up for lesser runs, and at the end of 6.1 overs, they were 12 for 4. And after that, it's just putting up the fire down, and then the rest of the batsmen like Neil or Rakesh or Vignesh, they had to do some firefighting rather than actually going for the win. They wanted to get to a decent total, but at the end, their lower order again, failed. I don't understand why Prasanna is playing at number 7 or number 8 in this game that we see. Prasanna is not a number 8 batsman. He's your number 1 batsman. He needs to play at the top of the order, and especially with a player like Prasanna, your best batsman, he needs to play the most number of balls. And if that is something which a player like me needs to tell to Ravi Narla, I'm really sorry for Pokeris.
Okay, the next game of the night is Troy Hawks versus Dark Horses. Imti, your thoughts?
Well, again, this game was completely dominated by Troy Hawks. I think this was a Saturday game. They also had a back-to-back games this weekend. So going into this game, I think they were absolutely booming with confidence, beating FCC and Indus Thunders in the previous games. So Troy Hawks on top of the game, going into this with full confidence, and I think they showed that in their batting, scoring 169 runs for 6 wickets. If you go into the details of the scorecard, I think they had an excellent opening batsman contribution here in this game with 42 runs from Soumit. There was a run-a-ball score, and then well supported in the middle order by Nataraj and Pradeep, scoring 22 and 26 respectively, and then a strong finish by the lower order, scoring by Aditya Verma and Kaushik Chapidi, 21 and 28 not out. And those were like quick runs in the end, like at a strike rate of 200 plus. So that strong finish gave them that 169 runs. And again, Dark Horses, obviously not much to talk about this season, and their bowling also lacking that confidence. I would say they're conceding 20 extras, adding to that total of 169. And again, like this scorecard looks like good scorecard, complete scorecard, good scores on the top, in the middle, and a strong finish. Like if you want to see a good batting lineup, I think this is how a scorecard should look, where they have a good foundation, the middle order contributing consistently, and then strong finish at the bottom. So 169 going into the chase. I think Dark Horse is definitely, like I said, not much confidence going into the game. They haven't won a game yet, if I'm correct. So really, they needed a miracle to actually chase this down, and that miracle never happened. Dark Horses, they just kept losing wickets, and I don't see anybody scoring in excess of double digits except for one player, Mukti Kanta, who scored 11 runs, but then absolutely no support from any other batsman in that lineup, and they just got all out for 51 at the end of 14 overs. Even though the highest scorer was extras by Troy Hawks, giving away 18 extras in this game. If you take away that 18, I think it's like it just sums up the way Dark Horses batting lineup. Not much contribution from their batsmen at all. Again, star performer for bowling for Troy Hawks, Aditya Verma, picking 4 wickets and well supported by Kaushik, Murli picking up a couple of wickets each. And I think this was a good complete game for Troy Hawks. And obviously, with the way they have been winning the games, I think they are a team to watch out for this season. And but unfortunately, they lost on Sunday. So hopefully, they'll have a reality check and come back strong in the next games.
Okay, the next game of the night is Patriots versus Dynamites. Before I go to Abhi, I'm receiving messages saying that the link that I shared is saying server is busy. Right now we have around 347 listeners listening, so it should not happen. But definitely I'll check with my radio server guys what happened. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience, but it should allow everybody. Okay, so with that I'll go to Abhi.
Thank you, Jagan. Like KK mentioned earlier about the Patriots, they're on a roll here. The game was played in Keith, just beside our game. Patriots wanting to bat after winning the toss. Started off well by getting those quick runs in the beginning of their innings. Balaji, Tejasvi, Navin playing decent knocks for the teams. 10 for Balaji, 15 for Tejasvi, and another 7 for Navin. With 42 for 3 in that innings break, they were at a very good spot. And Naresh still batting, and Sai and few others still took bat. Patriots again started off decent after their break with a good 25 odd run partnership, most of which was scored by Naresh. With 84 for 4 by 21st over, Patriots should have scored more by their end of their innings because they have their 6 wickets and their 5 more overs. They should have at least managed to score 30-40 runs there. But I feel Dynamites have done an excellent job pulling the game back very well to give themselves a fighting chance in the game. 5 of their Patriot wickets lost in 3 overs between the 22nd and 25th over. Naresh having another 40 plus score this season. His third, I believe, was an architect of their batting. Everyone else playing around him. Well played, Naresh. The collapse at the bottom of Patriots batting could have proven costly for the team because those 20-30 runs, probably what we have seen in FCC Agni and Bulls team. Bulls game. Dynamites, on the other hand, started off well with 3 quick wickets. They went dry in between, conceding a bit too many runs in their bowling, only to come back strong in the end. Suresh Balakrishnan, 5-wicket haul for this bowler again, with just 14 runs conceded, who picked up all crucial wickets. Congrats, Suresh. 2 each for Prakash and Venkat, who were again economical. Dynamite with 100 on board needed to have a good start. They did decently well despite losing wickets at the top. By innings break, they were 44 for 4. Should have been a decent position bar for them, but with the bit too many wickets lost. Their top order playing well, contributions from everyone. Arun Senvaraj, Karthik, Venkat scoring at a quick rate here. Now I don't know what went wrong here. The score wasn't updated after the break, but from the sheet it looks like there were 2 runouts. The 2 runouts of Arun Swaminathan and Venkat, was the turning point of the game, according to me. Arun Swaminathan, who was playing well for his 19 of 35, and then Saurabh Puri, who comes in lower of the order for his 14, tried getting the team closer to the win, but the team collapsed at the bottom, closed down the proceedings for Dynamites, who were short of 20 runs. Patriots did well in their bowling with just 4 extras, all of them bowling at very economical rate. Moon being the pick of the bowlers, 2 wickets in his 3 over spell, with 2 to Trinath and then Mahindra, who was a bit on the slightly expensive side. A good win for Patriots again, helping them move up the table. Currently in second with the 4 wins. Dynamites again with 4 wins, they're not far too behind in the points table. An excellent contest between 2 good teams. Pool A is, looking quite competitive with 7 of the teams eyeing for that playoff spots now. Yeah, good game.
Okay, with that, we'll go to our next game, MI Rangers versus Gladiators. KK.
So, Jagan, if someone who did not have a game just woke up and saw the scorecard around 10 o'clock, the game is over. MI Rangers put a dismal performance. 23 for 10 is not something you expect out of a team like MI Rangers, which has or both players like Abhilash and then Ifti, then you have Aditya Nalan. I don't see him playing, but with their lineup, 23 is, you cannot justify a scorecard that says 23 for 10. But again, been told that they played on the NPP Field 5, and it is not a cricket-friendly wicket. But, they won the toss. They batted first, and Jawad Zahir had a phenomenal day. 5 wickets for 3 runs in his 3.1 overs. Well supported with the rest of the 4 bowlers, picked up 1 wicket each. And it was Hari Kurada's birthday on Saturday. I think he cannot expect a better gift than this. And finishing the game in an hour and going home. And when it comes to Gladiators batting, Hardeep Singh comes in, scores 16 of 10, and then with the help of extras and the rest of the 3 runs scored by the batsman, I think it was a very, very, very convincing win. What does this result mean to MI Rangers is that their run rate has gone down. Their previous game, they played against AR Phantoms. They did not actually get that, the difference of the run rate in that game. So I think that will probably cause them more harm in the long run as the rest of the games are played. They are done with their 5 games. 1, 2, lost 2, and 1 game was no result. So I think they still have a chance to make it to the playoffs, but they have to bring their A game. It's now is the time they either win or they go home.
Okay, the next game of the night is MCC Miles versus Canton 11. Imti.
Yeah, just before going into this game, just adding on to the last game, I don't know, Gladiators beating MI Rangers definitely had an effect on MI Rangers, but I think this game indirectly affected the next day's game, Glads with GSCC. Just a funny thought that maybe the Gladiators batsmen did not have enough batting chance here, so they just expressed themselves in the next game. And that's the way I see it. So GLCC had to face it. Okay, so going into this game, MCC Miles versus Canton 11, I think most of us predicted that Canton 11 would win this game, just looking at MCC Miles' performances in the previous weeks. To be honest, Miles have been up and down through the previous weeks, and I'm not seeing that confidence going into this game, but I think at the end, I think this was a good win that will give them the much needed confidence and the momentum going into the second half of the league. So if you go into the details, MCC Miles, they batted first, and surprisingly, Canton 11, who won the toss, elected to bowl. So I think it was a plan by Javed but looks like it worked in the initial stages. So if I look at the scorecard, MCC Miles, absolutely slow start. Looking at their lineup, I think they have some good batsmen and good hitters, but I think the top order was like just trying to keep the wickets and help the lower order accelerate in the end. The absolute slow start, meaning they were at 38 runs in 16 overs for the loss of 5 wickets. So that is the risk with the slow starts. Like if you lose wickets, then your plan is absolutely shattered, because then you have to play the catch-up game because you don't have enough wickets, and then you just have to get through the overs. So I think that was the situation that MCC Miles was facing here. But luckily, they had a partnership going in the next few overs where they were able to score quickly, and somehow they were able to accelerate and get to that 85. Considering at what stage they were at 16 over mark, I think they did reasonably well. But again, they should have still got more than 92, I believe. Again, the 92 contribution basically from the middle order, Prithvi and Arun scoring 22 runs apiece in the middle, and that is the main contribution that helped them reach that 92. I think it was excellent bowling by Canton 11. Shivam, I think he is a star to watch out, and I have seen him bowl, and he's definitely a player to watch out. He was pick of the bowlers, picking 3 wickets, 10 runs, 5 overs, and then Almas also picking 3 wickets and giving good support. All the other bowlers are contributing economical bowling, and I think 92 was a very good score. Considering the fact that they opted to bowl, I think they would have been happy going into the chase. But unlike their previous games, I think Canton 11, they did not get that start that they were expecting. So they lost 3 quick wickets just for the score of 6 runs and the 6 overs. So they did not get that quick start or a momentum to start off the chase. Even though they had a little contribution in the middle from Hari and Javed himself carrying his bat, staying not out, trying to plug one end. But I think it was just the lack of intent from their other batsmen. Like except for Hari and Javed, I don't see anybody scoring in excess of double digits, single digits, I mean. So eventually they folded out for 57. They played 21 overs, but I think 92 was chaseable, and they should have won this game after their bowling performance. Again, I think credit to MCC Miles, the way they came back. Uh, Again, this should inspire them going into the season, into the next half. Again, like if you see the bowling scorecard, everybody contributing, pick up the bowlers being Ravi Teja, 3 wickets, 15 runs, and then well supported by Mahesh and Praneeth picking up a couple of wickets each. So I think this will give them the much needed confidence. And again, I think MCC Miles, I think, should come together as a team and get some wins under their belt going into the uh, closing into the playoffs. So
Okay, the next game of the night is Raptors versus FCC. Abhi.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. I thought this FCC team was the team who will apply breaks to the Raptors onslaught this season, but rather it looks like they got crushed under it. Raptors again winning the toss, choosing the bat, again winning the toss, repeated what they've been doing so well this season. A strong partnership of 29 runs for the opening wicket between Kiran and Anil. Runs coming at a good pace. Harsha Yalluri carrying the staff from Kiran after his departure, and then Omkar Atre taking the staff from Harsha all the way till the end. Looks like this was like a relay race here. It's a good sight to see settled batsmen playing at one end and all the new batsmen playing around them. Eases the pressure off a bit and ensures the continuity of the score movement. A plan very well executed by Kiran, Harsha, and Omkar, with Manjunathan coming and scoring quick runs in the end. So well played, guys. FCC felt like they were getting their wickets, but they were leaking too many runs. 49 for 2 by innings break, and then 93 for 4 by 20th over. Raptors were scoring at a very good rate, and they managed to get 35 runs in their last five overs, with 17 runs coming of the last over. I would say a very ordinary effort from FCC bowling unit, because we all know how good of a bowling unit the team is. As all their bowlers went for runs, conceding 20 runs in extras is way too high for their standards. Maybe few of the extras came in wantedly, probably to disturb the momentum, but 20 is still again a very, very too high, too big number for FCC bowling unit. Venki picking up 2 wickets, being the pick of the bowlers. And an interesting fact here is Raptors just scored 2 sixes and a boundary in their total score of 130, right? And those 2 sixes coming in 25th over. So they technically scored only 1 boundary in the 24 overs, and yet they managed to score 120 plus runs. It only tells them how well they've rotated and they've controlled their batting in this game. FCC had a big total to chase, and we've seen that their batting unit have struggled a bit this season. The story continues this game as well, with 3 wickets going for 5 runs, and half of the team got back into the dugout by innings break. Anil Balreddy squeezing a double wicket made an over in between, and then Prabhu, Sujan, Tejas from FCC side have tried their best to bring the stability in their batting, but with scoring 15 quick runs by Sujan and Tejas. But their target was too huge to be scored. With the game slipping away from FCC slowly, they collapsed to a lower end, and finally 65 within 20 overs. Kiran again having a productive day. 3 wickets to him after his an amazing batting unit there. Three wickets in his 4-over spell. Anil and Mohit being again very economical, two each for Naveen and Ashok. Raptors had a very good day with the ball, something they've been looking forward to. They've been leaking too many runs, though they've been batting well. But this game they came back. They came back very strong with their bowling unit. Still, they still stay unbeaten in the league, topping the pool table. And a bad day for FCC, who were literally outplayed by Raptors unit.
Okay, the next game of the night is Indus Thunders versus SSK. KK.
So, Jagan, I think this game, SSK put on a decent performance, but Indus Thunders just were way ahead, thanks to some useful contributions to the top of the innings from Chetan Dushyant and our fellow analyst Avi. Because in the last game, when Indus Thunders lost to Troy Hawks, Abhishek Sunkari was number 12. He did not bat that game, and I think that was a horrific decision from a cricket fan's perspective, because the way he plays when he is in full flow, it's a treat to watch. And I'm glad that Abhi had this game. And Dinesh, who came in after the fall of second wicket, he did not get going. He got out, but Manoj Singh, he scored about 10 runs in the middle, and then Gopu got out cheaply. But Srikanth Erwa is one of those dependable players for the Thunders. He scored 13, and then eventually dipped on like 102 runs at the end of 25 overs. Among the bowlers, Manjunath Reddy from SSK picked up 3 wickets, Satyaraj picked up 3 wickets, and Sai Prakash Varasani picked up 2 wickets. And none of those bowlers gave away more than 4 runs except for Sai Prakash. The rest of the bowlers were economical within that 4-run mark. And Vikas Sangvi bowling that 1 over, no wickets for 7 runs, of course. But when it came to the SSK batting, their both openers did not contribute much. They lost about 2 wickets for the first 4 runs in the second over. And from there, it's you have to build a partnership. You cannot go after the bowling, and that's what I think that number 3 and number 4 did, with strike rates around 50s and 60s. They try to hang on a little bit, but after that, the run rate keeps mounting. It gets to what 4.5 and over, 5 and over, 6 and over, and that's when the actual pressure mounts. Even though they played 24 overs, they were able to manage 80 runs, and that's probably about 3.3, 3.4 runs in over. And that too, in the very ending, they got a 6 from Manjunath Reddy, who had a good game, I believe. But the rest of the batsmen, right? I think they had to contribute in this game if SSK had to win. But at the end of the day, Indus Thunders secured all those 5 points and just was shaking off those earlier losses that they had in the season. Congrats to Indus Thunders.
The next game of the night is Legends versus Spartans. And before I go to Imtiaz, I'll just, this is the last game. So I'll go try to get Hari Parankusham for the predictions. Yeah. So Imti, go ahead, please.
Yeah, again, I think this was the game that was played on a Friday evening, if I remember correctly, that KK was mentioning. So, again, I was actually a little bit surprised when looking at the scorecard. I know Legends won it comfortably with a huge margin of 55 runs. But I think still looking at the scorecard, I was a little surprised. So if we go into the details, I think Spartans won the toss and elected to bowl, probably wanted to take the advantage of the twilight. And looks like it worked a bit. So except for KK, a fellow analyst who got to a good start with 1-6 and 2-4, quick 18 runs in the top. But then I think also quick wickets after that. And then at one stage, if I look at the fall of wickets, there were like 49 runs for the loss of 5 wickets at the 10th over mark. So half the side down, and you lose like only at the 10th over. I think that is where I'm a little surprised. I was looking at the scorecard. I see all the big names also in the scorecard, so not sure what was going on. So that I think it was a good bowling effort from Spartans, to be honest, restricting Legends, a batting lineup like Legends for 87. And if you see, like Murli, KK's brother, who was playing this game, he had to stay at one end and keep the wickets, and he played innings just to keep the wickets. Looks like 12 runs from 42 balls. So eventually they ended up scoring.
Imti, I want to add something here. Actually, Murli was injured prior to this game, but because we had to put the well, he came into the game, and I think there were about 20 dots in between. He didn't want to run at all. He was just blocking. But,
I think even the situation of the game, I think it needed, just because the quick loss of wickets. I think that was a good innings in the context of the game. So 87 did not play the 25 overs. I think they could have reached the 100 mark, and I think the star bowler for Spartans was Saptagirish, who picked 4 wickets and who was well supported by the other bowlers picking wickets apiece. I think at the halfway mark, I think Spartans would have really fancied the chances, because restricting a full bench, full strength team of Legends for 87, and that would have given them confidence. But alas, their batting really did not click. They have some good players in the lineup, but this game, I think nothing went in their way. Chanakya Lokam, who was the lone not struggling, but lone fighter, I would say, scoring 13 runs from 36 balls. No support from any bowlers. And if you see their batting scorecard, I see at least 4 ducks. And again, just credit to Harish. Again, I think he had a wonderful game with the ball, picking yet another 6-wicket haul. I think this is his second 6-wicket haul in this season. So that just gives the caliber of the player. Like if he's not contributing with the bat, he just comes back with the ball strongly. And I think it was just the brilliance of Harish that just took the game away from Spartans. So great win for Legends, considering the low score that they put on. But I think they're looking very good and strong and unbeaten so far. So
Okay.
I want to add something here. So I want to add something here because it's a game under lights. So I think anything up around 18, 90 is defendable if you have a good bowling unit. The second thing is Harish was not supposed to bowl in this match. He was riled up by the Spartans bowler when Harish was batting, who was just trying to bowl and get into the face of the batsman and stay right in the eye of Harish. I think that was a very bad thing by Spartans.
Okay, with that, we concluded all the games for tonight. And our next important segment is predictions. And to do the predictions, we have Blasters captain Hari Parankusham joined our show. Welcome to the show, Hari.
Yeah, thanks, Jagan. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You always come with loud noise, so we don't miss that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Abhi had to leave, so he left. So we'll be doing our predictions with our 2 analysts and guest of the night, Hari Parankusham. Okay. Before we do our predictions, do you guys have any questions for Hari Parankusham, KK, or Imti? Imti, I don't has anything.
I do have a question actually.
Yeah.
No questions. No questions will be answered for you, Imti.
No, I was just kidding. So no questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Vamsi, how are you?
I'm very good, Hari. Nice to have you on the show. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, one of the those DCL pioneers, and it's good to have you on the show. But there is one question which I really wanted to ask you after our Blasters game. I couldn't get a chance because it was already late and I was feeling so hungry. Yeah, I had to run. But yeah, how do you maintain your fitness?
How do I maintain my fitness? That's a good question, and I'm glad that you guys think that I'm fit. I'm very happy for that to know. But
the energy, right, Hari?
Yeah,
Our game went until 2:30, right? And you were fielding, and I've seen that energy that you were putting up in the field, right? And for guys like us who came into the league very, very much later in the later stages, right? So when we see things, it is like an inspiration. It's not just about cricket. It's about the type of composure you have to maintain in your life to get to that fitness level, the love for the game, and what all you want to give up, to play cricket, right? That's something I always adore. Just not cricket, right, but the lifestyle as well.
Yeah. So the thing is, you yourself said the answer to that question. So love for the cricket and passion for the game, that itself motivates myself and even many others in our DCL. Like Samish, we have Ashraf, we have Srikanth, Dhoni, Venkat Vaznal. Everybody, is kind of the same age group kind of thing, right? So it's a motivation and the interest, love towards the game keeps us healthy during the game. At least even though we have pains and aches, still we will try to bear that and then stay in the field as long as the game, until the game is over. And apart from that, definitely I try to be active, going to gym and do some weights and cardio. So if that will also help me. That also helps me to be active during the games.
Okay.
And I also wanted to mention about one other player, Rahul Chauji. I have seen him earlier this season.
Oh yeah.
He lost so much weight. He looks so fit, and sometimes it feels like if this guy calls us for a run, definitely I'm on the losing side.
Okay. Imti, you have any question?
No questions. But welcome to the show, Hari. And
thank you. Thanks.
Oh my God. Hari walked into the show and suppressed one of my good analysts' voice. With that, let's quickly get into our predictions. The first game of the night is Raptors versus SSK. I'll start with Hari.
Okay. I think for this game, I would definitely go with Raptors because the way they are batting and have a very good batting lineup. They are really rolling with Amar and other folks. So I definitely go with Raptors on this one.
Imti.
Yep, I'll go with Raptors too. Unbeaten in their pool and they're looking very good. So even the last game, the bowling also coming together. So Raptors.
KK.
Let's make it 3-0, Jagan, but we want to mention that Raptors, right? In the batting unit, they look very, very heavy, but when it comes to their bowling, I think Kiran needs to click. Once Kiran starts clicking, their unit looks completely different because the way he was bowling a couple of years early, if he can even replicate half of that, I think Raptors would be in the driving seat in almost all the games.
Okay, the next game of the night is Dynamites versus Safaris. This is the game I want to watch, but unfortunately I could not. I cannot. So, Hari, your pick.
My pick, I would go with Dynamites. The reason I would say, Dynamites, they have a good team, Vijay Shanmugam, and they have a very good team also. I think I would go with Dynamites, even though they lost against Patriots, but it's a very close game. They just, lost by 19 runs. So I know Safaris is kind of a new team and they have good players as well, but the experience and the loss of the last game for Dynamites definitely bring the heat and they want to win the next game. So I would go with Dynamites.
Imti.
Yep, I'll go with Dynamites too. Safaris have been showing some brave performances, but I think Dynamites have the experience to get this over. Dynamites.
Okay.
I will go with Safaris for this game, Jagan. And because of only one player in their unit, his name is Swarnarabul, and he has been topping the charts across DCL in the MVP points table. He's a good bowler. He's a great batsman, and he's a player who walks off if he nicked the ball. His temperament or his work ethic, and I think that is rubbing on the rest of the Safaris players. And they look good this year. They've been restricting oppositions like UCA, who scored 156 against the Raptors, right? They restricted them to 70, chased it out in style last week. And then they're having some good performances, and I think this game they're going to surprise a lot of analysts as well.
Okay. The next game of the night is Dark Horses versus Thunderbolts. I'll say Thunderbolts 3-0. Any objections there?
No.
Okay. The next game is FCC Agni versus Kings 11. I'll go 3-0 with Kings. Any objections?
No objections, but I think Agni will. I think this will be a close game, to be honest. Kings 11 has it to win it, but it will be a close game.
Okay. The next game of night is Bulls versus Blasters. I cannot ask Hari or Imti. So I'll give 1-0 to Blasters, KK. What do you say?
Yeah, we can definitely go with Blasters. And in my opinion, Sean, who played up the order, right, in one of the games. Which game was it, Imti, when he scored 6
Kings 11.
It was Kings 11.
Yes, I think Sean needs those many number of overs in case he needs to make a difference. And definitely, I'll be rooting for Blasters.
Okay. The next game of the night is Strikers versus Spartans. What do you guys say? I'm planning to go for umpiring for this game, so I don't want to make any comment. Imti.
Well, I think Strikers, based on their lineup, I think I'll give it to Strikers, but I think Spartans have been putting up good shows, like I was mentioning, even in the game against Legends. They put up a good show with the bowling, so they might surprise us, but I think I'll give it to Strikers.
Hari.
Yep, I'll give it Strikers as well.
KK.
Let's make it 3-0 Strikers, Jagan. But Spartan has two players, Nadim Khan and Chanakya Lokam. Very good players, and the entire team is dependent on them in the batting. When it comes to Strikers, because of the off-field reasons, their captain and Binod Singh being penalized, the umpire, and asked to do the umpiring assignments. And I think the way they behave on the field would be a tad different in this game because a lot of eyes are watching them. So let's see how they approach this game. Are they going to still approach with that positive or aggressive intent, I would say. That defines if they're going to win this game.
Okay, the next game is Hitman versus KRCC. I thought I wanted to give KRCC 3-0, but at the same time I would like to get opinion from you guys. So Imti.
No, I think definitely KRCC. I know Hitman has coming to the game a good performance against Brownstown, but I think KRCC is a very strong team, and they would definitely get this game.
Hari.
I'll go with Hitman on this one.
Hitman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with KRCC for this game. Hitman has put up some phenomenal performance this year, but I think KRCC unit is at a different level, and I know the reason Inti picks KRCC.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, the next game of the night is MI Rangers versus Pokeries. Both the teams had very bad weekend. So, this weekend, it's a do or die for MI Rangers, and Pokeries probably they have to, start winning again. Imti.
I think for me, this is a very good game, for one of the good games this week. Again, like you mentioned, both coming off losses from the last week, both losing badly. So I think both of them will want to prove a point. Just by looking at the lineups, I think if Pokeries has their full lineup, I think Pokeries will be stronger unit and they will get the game. Pokeries.
Hari.
Yep, I'd go with Pokeries as well.
KK.
Because the Pokeries has a very good lineup, as Imti said, and I know Satish, Saran, Neil, and Ravi Narla. They have a very good unit and good bowling as well. So definitely, I know last week they lost badly, but I think they will bounce back this week and play good cricket.
KK.
Yeah, definitely. My mind says Pokeries for this game.
Okay, I hope.
So this is surprising. KK picking against MI Rangers.
I hope MI Rangers is listening this. Okay. Okay.
Because putting a performance of 23 for 10, I think they need to prove a lot of analysts wrong in case we have to pick them again, right? So just from an analysis perspective, right? Even though I say the heart says MI Rangers, I said my mind says Pokeries.
Because I just remembered a statement that you made in the past that whenever MI Rangers is playing, you'll always pick MI Rangers. So again, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The next game of the night is AR Phantoms versus Punjab Warriors. Okay, I think Punjab Warriors 3-0, but I would like to do a round table here. Imti.
Yeah, I think Punjab Warriors definitely. At least they have showed some good performances. So Punjab Warriors.
Hari.
I'll go with Punjab Warriors.
Okay. KK.
So I have one question for Hari here. Hari, I think
Yes.
these Punjab Warriors players played in one of the game against Stars, right? In the other tournament.
Yeah,
What is your
Canton Scorpions.
Yes.
Yeah, they have
Yes,
a good team. They have a good team. Definitely, they should be handled. The thing is, even I umpired one of their game against the Canton, I guess, during the June month. So Punjab Warriors, they have a good team, and they have that lefty and the lefty batsman and the spinner. He's an excellent all-rounder, and also other people if they can stay in the middle for some time, they can get very good. They can get very good number of runs score on the board. But the thing is, everyone wants to hit a 4 or 6, so they need to have some patience, stay and spend some time in the middle. They can be a very good team. That's what I observed while umpiring and also while playing against the Stars team. We didn't have a full team. We were only 10, and then everyone was tired from last morning. We had played 2 games, so it kind of we took it easy. But definitely it's a good team.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason I asked is, Hari, because I was only there for the last 5 minutes because we had a game after that, right? So you wanted to understand from your analysis, right? Because these are new teams and a lot of our listeners don't really know the players, right? And the type of in-depth knowledge that you would have from, the experience of assessing the other team players. And that's the reason I asked that question. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next game of the night is Sterling Strikers versus GLCC. I'll start with Imti.
Well, again, Sterling Strikers, I think, had a week off last week. So they will be raring to go. But GLCC coming off a loss from Gladiators. This will be a game to watch out for. Both good teams, but I think GLCC has proved enough that we can put the money on GLCC.
Hari.
Yeah, this is kind of a really litmus test for the Sterling Strikers because they have been winning good games. I know they lost to Canton, I guess, before week, but still they have a good side. GLCC, I know, is a very excellent team with experience. Ashraf, we have Samish, we have Abhishek firing, the shots in the beginning. So I still go with GLCC, but I think this is going to be a very close game, I would say. That's what my prediction would be, a close game, but GLCC will win this game.
Okay.
So Jagan, in my opinion, GLCC should chase this game because when Hari was mentioning about the Canton 11 versus Sterling Strikers game, I was umpiring that game. And in the second half, when Canton was batting, it was 10 overs done and 4 Sterling Strikers players left because, they have to play the F40.
Okay. That's a nice side too.
Yeah. So in case, Sterling Strikers are coming with their leather ball players, it's advisable to chase.
So just to bring to notice, were they leaving after the 12-over mark or before the 12-over mark? Because I think they are supposed to stay until the 12-over mark. So
as per the DCL rule book, it says that we can field with 7, and then the player who comes at the beginning of the game, right? They have to stay until the first ball is bowled in the second innings. Okay.
No.
Are you sure? Because the rule book definitely talks about the 12-over mark in the second innings.
Yes. That's the reason, even I remember last game when we were playing against the Strikers, one of our player wants to leave early, but we said, we could not leave until end of 12th over, until the break time, the second inning. So as per the rule book, I think every player has to be there until end of 12th over of the second innings.
No, if they choose to leave, you can still field with 7 players, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good game, right? That's a good team.
Oh, so
you can always play with. Yeah. Only thing is.
Yeah, but I didn't know that, Jagan. But as per the rule book, we were thinking that we cannot leave until the break time. So that's why Imti and myself, even I would tell Mahesh wants to leave because he has some guests at home. So we said not to leave until the end of the 12th over.
I will definitely check that rule. I have my opinions on that. Okay.
Yeah,
sure. Thank you.
I was looking at that rule when I went for the this game, but I might be wrong. I will check and then send a message in the group, and Hari probably we will try to do that.
Yeah. So we have rule for latecomers, not for leaving people, because if somebody is leaving, I think it's lost to their own team, right? If somebody is leaving, but somebody bats and leaves, there's nothing we can do. But that's what I.
So,
but I think it's better to clear off that on this rule. Make sure that we are getting close to playoffs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because this is what is my understanding, right? So if your team is batting first, if the player bats and leaves immediately, then when the team is fielding, right, only 10 of them can go into the field because this particular player has not waited until the start of the second innings. But if the same player is waiting until the start of the second innings, after one ball is bowled, if he leaves, the team can continue to field with 11 players. So that is what is my assessment from the rule book.
Okay.
I'll go through that again and I'll see what is the rule there. Okay. The next game of the night is Strikers versus KRCC. What a game! Okay, it's going to be a great game, and I feel KRCC has a little edge. And Imti, your thoughts?
Well, I'll take you from Hari and I'll use the word litmus test. So this will be a litmus test for Strikers, and I think KRCC playing back-to-back games this weekend, so that might come into factor also with the player availability. So if Strikers has a chance, I think this is a good chance to beat KRCC, to be honest. So, but I think if KRCC comes with the full team, I think KRCC will definitely get this game. KRCC.
Okay, Hari?
I would go with the Strikers on this one because we have played them last week. I know we have played with KRCC, but I was not there in the field. But the way the Strikers, they have a good bowling. Vinod is, I think, is excellent. No way we can question him. and they have a good batting depth as well. But that they didn't click. But I think they are going to come up with they have back-to-back games, but even KRCC also has a back-to-back games. So unless if there is no conflict on both the teams, it will be a cracker of the game. Both strikers versus KRCC, but I'd give edge to strikers on this one.
KK.
I'll go with KRCC.
KRCC. Okay. The next game is UCA versus Indus Thunders. Indus Thunders 3-0. I hope no objections there. Okay. The next game of the night is Canton 11 versus Mica. See, Canton has edge here, but again, I'll go with.
No, I think it will be Canton 11 3-0.
3-0.
Yep.
3-0. Okay. The next game is Blasters versus FCC Agni. Same game again. Okay. I think I'll skip Hari and Imti. It's going to be 1-0 Blasters. Any objections, KK?
No.
No. Okay. With that, we have concluded all the predictions, and I'll close the show with the last words from our analysts, and at the end, I'll take last words from our guest of the night, Hari Parankusham. I'll start with Imti.
Yeah, well, again, thanks to our listeners for being patient and staying over time. We ran 20 minutes into the after the hour. So thanks again. All your support helps us to keep going. So thanks for joining the show. And again, like back-to-back games for a lot of teams this week. So hopefully the weather stays good and we get full quarter of games, and we can discuss much more in the next week. So all the best to all the players who are playing. And then thanks to my fellow analyst KK, Abhi, and thanks Hari for joining the show, and thanks Jagan. So good night, everybody.
Okay, KK.
Once again, it's good to be back on the show again after last week's break, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this show, and I hope our listeners are also enjoying the show, and they are getting more insights from our guest analysts such as Hari, who's been part of this league for a phenomenal amount of time, and their insights that definitely help the league improve in its own capacity. And I would like to thank our fellow analyst Imti, and as well as you, as well as our guest analyst Hari for joining the show today. And good night, listeners.
Hari.
Yeah, so first, I would like to say that I really appreciate each of you, like Jagan, Vamsi, Imti, and Abhishek is not here, but you guys spending this much of time every week and analyzing all these games. It's not easy. It's not easy job. The commitment and analyzing and commitment is really it's really admirable, and it's very great. So that I think I will tune into this now and then, not every day, every week, but most of the times I will tune in and just listening to the radio and doing some other work at the same time. But hopefully more listeners will be doing the same thing, and then I will wish you all the best again going forward. And also thanks for having me for this show, and looking forward to more of these. And then something comes up maybe in future, if you want me to join, I'm very much eager to join when the next time comes in. Thank you. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks a lot, Hari. Thanks Imti and KK. And I just got a message from Mahesh of Bulls saying that this is a very good show, and he's listening every week. With that, and before I close the show, Hari, I would like to say that it's more credit should go to KK, Imti, and Abhi. They are the ones who are doing all the analysis. I'm just questioning. I'll prepare the questions. That's all. I'll be going through the games. That's all. So all the credit goes to our great analysts, and I'm sure it's helping the teams also. With that,
definitely. Yeah.
I'll close tonight's show. Good night, everybody.